won't say necessarily this is a character, but let's say the moon is a character, and the character of the moon is it's a bit hollow, and Hi, I'm Matt with No Market Media.
And I'm Randall. Today we're bringing you a new movie review. Just came out in theaters. Go check it out maybe if you want to. Moonfall. Moonfall stars Patrick Wilson, Halle Berry, and John Bradley, and a bunch of fill-in-the-blank characters and actors that honestly aren't that important. Sorry, not the actor's fault. It is co-written and directed and co-produced by Roland Emmerich, who's also well known for other disaster films like 2012, Day After Tomorrow, which we have a review of, and of course, probably the biggest one that everyone knows about, Independence Day. But before we get into the review, make sure if you do like this video, you give it a like. Those likes really help us out. Subscribe to the channel if you always want to see more, and ring the bell icon if you want to be bugged every time we upload a new video.
In Moonfall, the moon changes its orbit and is headed towards Earth due to some kind of alien technology. Our main characters come up with a plan to travel to the moon and defeat the alien technology with hopes that the moon will return to its normal orbit. It has a $146 million budget, making it one of the most expensive independently produced films ever. It has received below average reviews from critics and mixed reviews from audiences.
Moonfall is a bad movie, but I couldn't stop myself from laughing at it, and I hate it for that. Emphasis on laughing at it, not with it. Moonfall is a bad film. I think after some reflection last night, thinking about it, because we just saw it, like, fresh. This is like Roland Emmerich's Malignant. This is his middle finger to all of those common sense films, because he had just come out on the record as saying, oh, Marvel and Star Wars films are ruining the industry, and then you come out with this. And it's just like, this movie's bad, and Roland Emmerich's been around for a while, and whether you like his movies or not, who cares? He still can put a competent thing, to film. He's just decided not to. This has to be bad on purpose, is my point. This has to be bad on purpose.
Yeah, for me, this is a Roland Emmerich disaster film or whatever in this one. You gotta suspend all belief, and you can't question. Don't question anything in this movie. Don't even think about questioning anything in this movie. Just don't. I kind of see it as, it's almost like a B movie. So I think you gotta kind of take the approach that, this is a B movie.
You know what it is, honestly? This is a sci-fi channel movie with a big budget and a couple of A-listers.
Alright, so, plot and everything. I see this as kind of like a what-if movie. Where the idea is, what if the moon was coming at the Earth at an increasing speed or whatever?
We died.
I mean, yeah, we died. But it's basically, how would that, play out and everything, too? Biggest problem for me, I think a lot about this story is that I think Emmerich threw everything at the story. So not only do we have this moon coming, and we gotta focus on this, we gotta look at our main character and his relationship with his kids, and then his ex-wife and her new husband and their whole family and their whole dynamic with their kid stuff. And then we also have Halle Berry and her separation from her husband, and her husband's in the military kind of thing. And this through everything. We even have side stuff going on with our main character's son and how he gets kind of I don't know if you want to say redemption, whatever arc. There's just so much in this film.
There's a lot. There's a lot in this film, honestly. The story or the basic plot of this of hey, the moon's falling to Earth because of something that's going on up there that we need to try and stop. We need to try and fix it. And it's all right, stop there. That's your story. But then as I just found out about 10 minutes ago, because I didn't do as much research as Matt apparently, this is an independent film. And no one was able to... Roland Emmerich just George Lucas to this.
Mm-hmm.
No one was in the room able to tell him, now stop. We don't need the side stories. We don't need the stuff that happens. We need to slightly establish that these characters have children and that's what they're fighting for. This is their reason for going all out to, you know, go to the moon and stop this. You know, like, that's what you need.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need a whole story about how these kids are trying to get to safety. And, like, the father who happens to be in the military, who at least does something near the end of the film, but it's like, no, wait, breaks. Your story is about the moon, and it's coming towards Earth, and you gotta stop it. That's it.
I think part of the thing is, like, Emmerich's done so many of these disaster movies, and he's like, you know what? Certain little aspects worked in each of my movies. So why don't we take all those aspects that worked into all those movies and put it all in one movie?
Well, yes, that's one thing. I think that you're actually right. But I also just think it's just stealing from better movies.
Yeah.
Like, it's got the scene near the end where the super intelligence thing is going on and, like, giving Patrick Wilson all the information he needs. And I'm just like, oh, so it's Contact. Or it's 2010. And I'm like, so it's just stealing from better films. There is that throughout this entire thing. It's like, oh, we're gonna, you know, we have this special thing that we were designed. I'm like, are you stealing from Armageddon?
Yep.
And it's stuff like that. Over and over again, this plot is just, yeah, these worked in my other movies, fine. I'll just, there you go. And yeah, this worked in this movie really good. There you go. You know, like, it's just, it's a mess, man.
It is a mess.
The acting in this movie is so bad. The script is so bad. I bring it back to my initial point. It has to be on purpose. There's a point in this movie where Halle Berry delivers a line so wooden and so straight, and it's like, had to be on purpose. At that point, I leaned over and said, she's won an Oscar for Best Actress. She doesn't have to act anymore, apparently.
That scene was bad. And I think it was supposed to be kind of like an emotional moment, and there was, like, no emotion to it. I feel bad. I really think that, like, the actors and stuff were like, you know what? It's a paycheck. You know? It's a paycheck.
See, I like, some real cynical part of me is like, who cares? It's gonna make money. It's a Roland Emmerich disaster film. So yeah, it's a paycheck. But I'm sorry, I put this right up there with Malignant. I'm like, no. The people making this film knew they were making a B schlocky science fiction disaster film, and they're just like, just go for the schlock. You know, do that.
It's on airplane mode.
Because Patrick Wilson was in that like Space Station 76, I want to say it was, which was literally supposed to be like a B film, and it's just like, yeah, this is just the same. Like, just make a B film, everyone knows it.
I think you kind of do have to embrace that a bit too, especially when we were talking, like, I don't know, I wouldn't say necessarily this is a character, but let's say the moon is a character, and the character of the moon is it's a bit hollow, and but that's the thing too. It just plays into that B-level story. Like, you really have to embrace this. And I really think that's kind of what Roland Emmerich was embracing, was, you know, the whole idea, like, hey, I've read up these things where people think, you know, the moon isn't really what we think it is. It's this, you know, superstructure. And I think Emmerich just really just went in and like, hey, we're going to go full B with this movie. So yeah, with the characters, you do have to approach that as like, yeah, they're just going full B movie with this.
Full sci-fi channel movie, man. Oh man, and the characters are just the same. Like even the main three characters don't even have a ton of chemistry, honestly, between them. I guess Halle Berry and Patrick Wilson have been around long enough; they have some chemistry. But like all the side characters, I hated them all. I'm just like, I don't care about his son. I don't care about her son. I don't care about their exes. There is no side character in this film that matters to me at all.
Yeah. And we try to give them these big moments, too, to make us feel for them.
No.
It's like, yeah. I go back to it. I really think Emmerich is just like, hey, I had these in other films, so I got to put in this. But where we have side characters that feel good in some of his other films, like Independence Day, some other ones, this one does not. I'm there with you. These side characters just like...
Pointless,
whatever.
Pointless. They add nothing to the plot.
Normally, I guess I would say, disaster movies are like a genre. But this movie, I wouldn't even put it as a disaster movie. Genre, it's an Emmerich disaster movie kind of thing. Or as we were talking before, like all of Emmerich's disaster films
in a
movie. But one thing when I was writing these notes that I didn't really think about as much that, like you were saying, that I would agree with is kind of like, sci-fi, like B-movie. I mean, if that's a genre, I say this hits that thing, and that's something that I really wasn't thinking about before.
Oh, no. It's Sci-Fi Channel B-movie.
Just with a 10 times the budget or whatever.
I can't believe this movie was $146 million.
Well, I mean,
they're never gonna make that money back.
No, but with like the visuals and stuff, I can see where that money went to.
Oh, speaking of, not this is anything to do with genre, but just because we're having fun with this one, obviously. There's a scene where like the tide is coming in and the tide is extreme because the moon is close, and I'm like, that's a CGI scene made to look like a bigature. It looks like an old school bigature, but it totally is CGI. And I'm like, huh? It's weird.
Like you said, that almost has to be like on purpose B movie. It's like, hey, we want to kind of like recreate the techniques of the old one, but just using the new techniques.
It's so weird looking. But yes, for me, the biggest thing, this is a sci-fi disaster film. And the problem is, like you said, it just has a little bit of everything thrown in from all of his other films. And I'm going to go back to Armageddon, and you're just stick with me. Just stick with me. Armageddon had the good sense of being a disaster film that takes place in space. It had some characters that you can, grab onto, that you can feel for. Had some side characters who were relevant to the story, like Billy Bob Thornton's character and everything, and Liv Tyler's character, like the wife, not quite wife, whatever, fiance and daughter. They made sense in the story, but it was a disaster movie first and a sci-fi movie second. Like a distant second, Moonfall. No. It's like, we're going to be a disaster movie. No, we're going to be a sci-fi movie. No, we're going to be a disaster movie. No, sci-fi movie. And they're just going at it. And it's just like, it's not a disaster movie that takes place in space. It's a disaster movie that takes place inside of a sci-fi movie that's trying to be a disaster movie that really wants to be a sci-fi movie. So that's the genre. And I can't believe that I'm using Armageddon in such a positive light.
I don't know. We have kind of fond memories of that movie. But...
Thank you for joining me for this soapbox moment of why Armageddon's better than Moonfall. What I didn't see coming, and I should have seen coming, because all of Emmerich's films are all about, what if conspiracy theorists were right? They're all about that. But I watched this and didn't think for a second that he was like, what if the moon really was a megastructure?
Are we dead? No, we are just inside the moon. That might be the greatest sentence anyone's ever said.
Like, I didn't see that coming. I really didn't. And it might have been in the trailer someplace, but like, I just looked at the first trailer for this and thought, that movie's gonna suck.
He goes full in, like, we didn't talk a whole lot about the doctor who's
Not a doctor?
spoiler, not really a doctor, but you know what I'm saying? Like, he goes real in on this, like, everyone thinks is crazy. What he says is crazy. Even his, like, little group of followers are seen as kind of like crazy screw loose, but they're right. They're 100% right.
Not crazy!
Totally right. So yeah, it kind of goes in. The part that I didn't see coming, probably should see coming because we've seen a lot of scenes like this or whatever, but I didn't expect the car to jump the flying Earth debris. I did not see that coming. We're at the end, we're like, bits of Earth is like floating up,
Matt,
and the car like jumps to floating space debris.
So here's the thing. It's a Lexus.
It's a Lexus.
And Lexuses can do that. I just want to let you know. They also have sport modes, and they're extremely reliable at the end of the world. And I'll be installing Kaspersky on my laptop here shortly. I feel like it's a safe alternative.
I mean, guys, if you're looking for a car that can jump like from Earth to like floating Earth debris,
Lexus
like
RX.
Lexus, that's what you want to get.
That's the one.
That's the one.
That's the one for you. Product placement.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that would be another thing I didn't see coming, although I absolutely should because it's a Roland Emmerich film.
Yeah.
What's product placement in a Roland Emmerich film is usually much more subtle. It's like it's like Coke can. Now shoot that Coke can off of that spaceship, you know?
I mean, with this being an independent film or whatever, produced film, I mean, they got to come with that budget somewhere. $146 million?
Hey, Kaspersky! I hear you're down in the dumps. How much money will you give us to put your name on everything? I want to feel bad because the movie sucks, but we're obviously having so much fun.
And that's a little bit I'll get to in conclusions. So, did I enjoy this movie? Not so much. Are there people that are going to enjoy this movie, especially if they take the B-level approach? Probably. Did I laugh while watching this movie? Yes, I did. Here's the differences. Like, we were kind of going to, like, other ones, like Malignant or whatever. Like, Malignant, I actually enjoyed, but didn't really know what to think about it too much. But I'm going to remember that movie, because that movie stood out. This movie is one of those movies that I was laughing at and not laughing with. So I think if you're looking for something like, hey, I want to laugh at a movie, or I just like awesome visuals from like Roland Emmerich films of disaster movies, like shut brain off, visuals give me, then maybe. But for me, this wasn't the movie for me.
Listen, if you're into schlocky, sci-fi channel-esque B movies with big budgets, this is the king of schlocky sci-fi channel B movies. And if that's your thing, you're gonna love it. You're gonna just love it. If you like 2012, you're probably still gonna love it.
Mm-hmm.
The acting in 2012 is better than the acting in this. God, that's saying something.
Mm-hmm.
I feel dirty just saying that.
I mean, seriously, this movie would not be made, or Emmerich would not be in the position to be able to make this movie if that's not what people, you know what I'm saying? If people didn't like a lot of his other stuff to watch it. So I'm sure there are people out there, like you said, that if you go for that, you're going to like this.
But there's a reason that this is an independent film.
Yes, too.
I mean, and that's probably got a little bit to do with consolidation of studios.
Yeah.
Disney owns everything. 20th Century Fox would have been like, yeah, make a movie. He should have pitched this to Netflix.
Yeah. And it would actually, you know what? It would feel kind of at home, I think, on Netflix.
So anyways, is it good? Do I recommend it? It's not good, but you might like it, and I'll probably never watch it again in my life. Unless we are doing this 20 years from now, and we have to like do a retrospective on our own stuff. That'd be kind of fun.
You may see this on one of our end of the year list categories. We'll see how the rest of the year goes.
Oh God, can it get?
Well, I know. We'll see. I mean, there might be many categories this fits in. I don't know. But if you guys have seen this movie, we want to know what you guys think. Let us know in the comments below. Did you like it? Did you hate it? We welcome all those different comments. Also, be sure to check out some of our other reviews. We have other new movie reviews. We have flashback movie reviews. We take a look at TV shows, and we have deeper dive discussions.
Also, be sure to go check us out over on our Facebook page. We post there the day before what's coming up next on YouTube. We also post things from other fandoms over there. But if you don't have Facebook, no problem. Put us on your calendars. New videos being released every Monday and Thursday. For now, I'm Ryan with No Market Media. See everyone next time.
And I'm Matt. Have a good day, everyone. Next time on No Market Media. Please consider checking out some of our other videos.